We're now in Dcad lesson 15A, cleanup. Essentially, we're cleaning up the final drawings on our two sheets. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm dealing with, as you can see up here in the title, sheet D06114W1A2. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom up on the sheet notes legend here and get rid of the slash sheet note, hitting Z for zoom. And this was just a spare that we were holding in place in case we needed to add any additional sheet notes. So I'm just going to select these using a rectangular selection and hit delete. And now I'm going to select my border around the sheet notes legend and select these 2 points at the bottom. Hit A for orthogonal mode, or hit H, sorry, for orthogonal mode, and right click on one of those points and just kind of move it up until it looks like it's about, in a good place, and then clicking, and it's taking care of that. Hit escape to unselect. Now I'm going to hit Control W to zoom out, and we still need to deal with our title. So I'm going to hit L for layers, and I'm going to use the layers filter and just make sure that I'm just dealing with scrolling up here a little bit, active layers only at this point. That'll eliminate a whole bunch of layers that we don't have to navigate through, and click on that. And then I'm going to go down to layer 253, which is the title layer, and I'm going to just open that layer and then click OK. Now, before I get too carried away here, I'm going to hit Control W, and actually I'm going to activate Show All Layers. Hit L for layers, and I want to because I'm going to need to delete some stuff, property lines, stuff like that. So none of those layers are actually needing to be part of sheet A2. So essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select those that are not active layers, not visible or active, and that's actually pretty simple. So I'm just going to click on each one of these and hold down Control. And we don't need our elevations because those are in our working drawings, our W1 working drawings. And we don't need height, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So now all the layers that were not active or visible have been selected. I'm going to right click now, and I'm just going to go up to where it says delete highlighted layers. I click on that, and yes. So now all those layers are gone. Now I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to actually scroll out just a little bit further, holding down Control and using my scroll wheel. And I'm going to select these windows and doors and just hit delete. Garage door, delete, and the man door, delete. Now I can hit Control W, and this is our A2 drawing, our A2 sheet, and we still have some, you can see some red areas down here that are going to need to be dealt with, and I need to actually deal with the project name. And actually this project name and client name, it should have been in red when I imported it, because these are things that need to be changed once we initiate the drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Z for zoom and zoom up on the sheet information here, and one of the things I'm going to do is change my copyright date, and to make sure that that's correct, so I'm going to open my info box and change that 2015 to 2018, and then hit enter. The red date here is not correct, so I'm going to make that today's date, which is 3/26/18. So I'm just going to select it in the info box, type 3/26-18 or /18, and I'm going to click on over here at the color toolbar. I'm going to click on black to turn it black, and hit the A to actually turn it black, and you can see it's over here in the info box. It's turned it black. I'm leaving my initials because that's correct. I'm hitting the A to turn that black. The job is D0614. That's the job number, D0614. And I'm going to click on the A to turn that black. And the file is, I'm going to select it in the info box, D0614W1A2. And I'm going to click and turn that on the A over here in the color toolbox to turn that black. And last but not least is the actual sheet number designation. A should be A2, so I'm just going to select a 0 and type in 2 in the info box, and then turn that black, clicking on the A over here in the color toolbox. So now we have all those guys looking good. I'm going to hold down Control and use my scroll wheel to zoom out a little bit further, because I need to change the project name and the client name. Now I'm going to, on the color toolbox over here to the right, I'm going to click on the red and go to the fourth one over to the right and click on that. It's a nice bright color of red you can see over here. And because what I need to do is I need to create a spacer V, is what I call it. Hit V for vector. I'm going to right click at the bottom of project name, and I'm going to hit H to toggle out of orthogonal mode, and I'm going to set a point down just out of the way here somewhere, and then I'm going to right click on the word on the lower left, or of the word 4, right click on that so it snaps to it, hit the scroll button to initiate the command. So now I'm going to change this text, and I'm going to do that by selecting the text, just clicking somewhere close to it. That selects it, and I'm going to change it where it says project name to garage design, and type that in the info box, and then hit enter, and it changes it. And now I'm just going to hit click somewhere else in the drawing so it unselects it. Now I'm going to right click on my spacer V and hold down Shift, because that selects it, and I right click on the spacer V on the down, actually the lower, should be the lower left hand corner of the spacer V, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and select 4 also, the word 4. Now I'm going to hit M for move, and just move it out here to the side so you can actually see what I've done. You can see where I've set the handle on the spacer V, because I'm going to reposition the word 4. Now I'm going to hit M for move again while they're still selected, and I'm going to right click at the end of design, at the bottom and end of design. Right click, snaps it in place, hit escape, select my spacer V, and hit delete to get rid of it. Okay, so now we have the first portion of our title. And so now, since this garage is being designed for John, or Mr. and Mrs. Doe, I'm going to call the client name, that basically the title is going to read Garage Design for the Doe Residence. So I'm just going to click on the client name here in my info box. I'm going to select where it says client name and type in the Doe Residence. Okay, so that's done. So now hit Control W and pull the info box out of the way momentarily, and our sheet A2 is complete. It's ready to be printed. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to use this title rather than retyping everything again and going through all that. I'm going to use this title for my site plan and its drawings. So in order to do that, I'm going to just use a selection rectangle and select the title of the drawing, Garage Design for the Doe Residence, and I'm going to set a handle at the lower right hand corner of our border, actually our title border. So I'm going to go over here to set selection handles, left click on that, and now I'm going to go over to the lower right of our title border and right click on that, and then I'm going to hit my scroll button to initiate the command, and you can see that it's set a handle down there now. So now I'm just going to hit Control C, and that copies this title to the clipboard, and I'm just going to hit Escape to unselect it. I'm also going to save now. This is a great time to save this drawing before something horrible happens. Okay, so it's saved. So now I'm going to go up to my, I've already opened I've had the site plan opened and previously, and so I'm going to click on the window, in the drop-down menus and go down to where it says D0614W1 Site 1 and click on that one, and that opens up the site plan for me. So now I can just go ahead and, because this site plan is actually at 1/4 inch scale, I mean the site plan sheet is at 1/4 inch scale, I'm going to select all this project name and client name stuff, just select it all and hit delete, delete it. And I'm going to hit Control V, which is paste, and right click down here at the same lower right corner of the title border. And you can see that it's immediately plugged in our title. So that's good. So I'm going to hit Escape now to unselect it. Now I need to also check and make sure, I'm going to hit Z for zoom and check to make sure that our copyright is correct, and it's not. It's saying 2014. So I select that. I'm going to open up my info box and change that 4 to an 8. Select it and then type in 8. Hit enter, and that looks good. We're good to go there. So now I have to go in, and all of these actually should have been red also. Let me click on the red. This is what these should look like. They should all be red. So I'm going to go through now. I'm going to click on the black color in the color toolbox so I can go through these and fix them. So the first one is the date that needs to be fixed. I'm going to select it in the info box. Type 3/26/18. And I'm going to click on the A over here in the color toolbox to change it to black. And you can see here in the info box that it has turned black. I'm going to click on my initials and turn them black. I'm going to click on the job, A0000, and select that in the info box and type D0614, if I could type. And I'm going to now go over to the color toolbox, turn that black. And the actual file name, I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select it again in the info box and type D0614W1, and I'm just going to abbreviate a little bit and call it SP1. SP1 for Site Plan 1, and then go over here and click the A to apply to the selection, and it's done that. Last but not least, we need to change the sheet to, and this will be sheet A1. So I selected the sheet number, and I'm going to select it in the info box and type A1 and hit enter. And I'm going to just click up here in the drawing somewhere, and you can see that we're kind of off center there with our A1. So I'm going to select that and get close to the handle with my cursor, and then hit the comma to gravity move, and hit M. And I'm going to just arrow over a couple, 2-3 times there, and then just hit the 0, which is the insert key, to set a point, and that takes care of that. Problem is it's still red, as you can see in the info box. So I'm going to go over here to the A in the color toolbox, for apply to selection, and click that, and it turns it black. So now we're squared away as far as our title is concerned. So now we hit Control W and zoom back out, and there's still some things we need to deal with. Couple things. One is that our index to sheets, let me hit Z for zoom and zoom up on that, isn't quite correct. Sheet A1 is a site plan. We do not have a vicinity map, and so basically what we have on sheet A1 is a site plan and elevations. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to leave where it says site plan there, but I'm going to select vicinity map and everything to the right of that, and then type in elevations. Wait, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to back up there and even to the comma and hit the space bar and type in the and sign, Shift 7, space, and then elevations, and hit enter. So these are still red, and they need to go to black. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on the apply to selection here and turn those guys black. So sheet A1 is correct now in the index to sheets. So I need to address the the nomenclature for sheet A2. What drawings are on sheet A2? Well, there's quite a few. So what I'm gonna go ahead and save right now before anything bad happens. And now I'm gonna go to the window in the drop down menus and click on that and pull up sheet A2 so I can see what drawings are in there. And I'm just gonna quickly make notes that we have a floor plan, so I'm just putting FP, foundation plan, that's FN, roof framing, that's RF. We have wall bracing plan, which is WB. Let's put that down. Roof plan, which is RP. And we have section A-A, so that's SN A-A, and then we also have a detail, so that's just DT. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual drawings in sheet A2. So now I'm going to go back up to the window in the drop-down menus and click on that and go back to my site plan. And so I'm going to zoom out here just a little bit by holding down Control and scrolling, using my scroll button, scroll wheel, whatever. And I'm going to take a look here, and you can tell that these lines in the various titles on the site plan are different lengths, so we're going to adjust all those in a little bit. But I'm trying to get a feel for how long I should make this, so I'm just going to go ahead and select this right now and pull up my info box. And so we have a floor plan and an elevation. So I'm going to select everything behind plan, and now I'm going to put a comma and a space, foundation plan, comma, roof framing, plan, comma, wall bracing plan, comma, roof plan, comma, section A-A, and then the end sign, space, detail. So that's all in one line. It's going to be kind of long. I hit enter, and that's just a tad long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take part of this and actually put it down below for a second line for our sheet A2. And I'm just looking to kind of line things up here. I think everything, including roof plan, section AA, and detail, can be on that second line. So I'm going to just go here now and over here in my info box, and I'm going to click at the beginning of that and just kind of arrow over until I get roof plan. And so I'm selecting all of that and hitting Control X, which will yank it essentially, and backspace one time. And I'm typing. So when I hit Control X, it actually copies it. It pulls it out and copies it to the clipboard, deletes it, and copies it to the clipboard. So now, because this is all is still selected, I can type. I can activate that drawing and hit N. But before I do that, I want to see how big this text is. So right now, I'm looking over here in my info box, and it says it's 0.5 in height. So what I need to do in order to copy that down, I'm going to put just grab this handle, and I'm going over here to set selection, or I'm actually just grab the handle. I can just go to it and grab it and move using the comma, and hit N, and then hit my point relative and tab, and I want to go minus 0.75, which is 0.5, the text height, plus half of that, which is the space between them, and then hit enter. And so you can see that it's done, it's duplicated it, the same line down below. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just that upper line, since it's selected, I'm going to go over here and just turn it black because that one's done. And this second one, the duplicate line, I'm going to select that now, and I'm going to go into my info box here, and I'm going to right-click in that dialog part and click on Select All. Now I can hit Control V, and that'll copy it from the clipboard into the info box. And now all I have to do is hit Enter. And you can see that that's changed the text to the roof plan, the section AA, and detail. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn that black by clicking on the A over here. Now, so our index to sheets is correct now, but we still have a lot of debris, for lack of a better term, in this information. So that's all our little red lines and blue lines that I use to align things with. So I'm going to use this a rectangular selection and select all of those little marker lines and hit delete. That takes care of those. And I still have some blue ones over here, so I'm going to use a selection rectangle and select those and hit delete again, and move my info box out of the way and click on the title bar for the drawing, hit Control W. Now I can see that really the only thing I need to change on this site plan is some of the colors. The grid bars and the windows are still green, so there's a couple ways we can do this. Now let me zoom up on the site plan first. And we can see that we have our topographic lines are in two different colors. We have the sort of orange or red ones. I'm pull my info box up so I can see better. If I select those are red, you can see here in the info box, and the other ones are sort of a real dark maroon color. So the reason those are different colors is because the dark maroon colors are the primary topographic lines, and the red ones are the secondary topographic lines. So what we want to do is we want to select some of these things and deal with them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hit Control W to zoom back out and hit Escape, and I'm going to call up the selection filter. And over here on the toolbar to the right, I'm going to click on that. And you can see we have a number of colors here. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is the dark maroon and the green I want to turn to black. Okay, so I'm going to click on dark maroon and say Add, and it adds it over here to the other side. I'm going to click on the green and hit Add again. So those two things, those two colors are selected. I'm going to use my scroll bar over here to scroll a little bit over. Now I can, now what that means is these things on this right hand side, when I do a selection rectangle, those are the only colors that will be selected. So I'm going to start my selection rectangle over here off to the left and up at the top, and just select the whole enchilada pretty much. Now, okay, but you can see that only the maroon topographic lines and the green window grids have been selected. So I'm going to turn those guys black. Black is my color here. You can tell right here. So I'm going to just click on the A to apply that color to the selection, because I want those primary topographic lines to be black. So now I can just go up here and click Remove All, and it takes care of all those. Now the selection filter is still showing maroon and green, but it won't for long, because if I just click on one of these other tabs here, like Entity Type, and then click back on Color, you can see that those are gone now. So what that means is, in this drawing, I'm going to hit Escape and just click up here in the title and hit Escape to unselect that. What that means is that we only have these three colors remaining in the entire drawing. So now what I want to do is I want to select these red topographic lines and turn them to a gray color. So I'm going to, the easiest way to do that is just to click on red here and add to this other side. So now I can just select all of that, and it's actually only going to select the red lines, and you can see that in the info box here. So now I'm going to go ahead and tell this to remove that and just close it. I no longer need the selection filter because those guys are already selected. Also, that selected the red setback lines. So I'm going to turn all those lines a gray color. So I'm going to just add. Actually, I don't need that anymore. I can go ahead and just close my selection filter. I'm going to remove that red and close. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep these things selected, but I'm going to apply the black to the selection. And you can see that it's changed here in the info box, but I want them to be gray. So I'm going to click on this black box in the info box, and that'll bring up the color dialog. So what I'm going to do is you can see it's black right here, and you can see that black is selected in the basic color table. And I'm going to take this arrow here and just click on that and pull it up until it says 110. And then let go. And you can see that it's made it a gray, so that's lighter. And because those are secondary lines, we want them lighter. So now I just click OK. And you can see that those selections are all turned in the info box have turned gray. And I'm just going to click somewhere in the drawing. And now I'm hit Control W to center the drawing and pull the info box out of the way. And so this drawing is done, except for the fact that these title lines, just to make it look a little better, should all be the same length. And usually what I do is I'll take a title line and extend it out to the furthest extent of the text. So I'm going to select this one and then hit, and then I'm going to use the apply to selected entities only, and what this is the extension, the selection extend, which is shift and then the space, or I'm sorry, shift and the dash line. I'm going to click on the line, and you can see as you move it back and forth, it will extend it either make it longer or shorter, either way you want to go. And I'm just going to right click on this longest portion of text right here. And so that's adjusted that line. And if you want to, I can hit F5. And what will happen is when I select this guy and use that same extension command, hit F5 again so you can actually change the cursor. And you can see that that is the longest text. So I'm just going to right click now on this line that I've already done. So no, those two are the same length. And I'm going to repeat that same action with this top line. And so I'm going to hit Shift Dash, which is the extend command, and I'm going to click on or near that line. And again, I'm going to just come down to this line and right click on it, and it adjusts it to that. So I can hit Escape. So all these lines are the same length now. It just looks a little cleaner to do it that way. So this drawing looks like it's done to me, so I'm just going to save it now. And this concludes our Dcad lesson 15A, having to do with cleanup. So both the site plan and the elevation drawings on it are finished, and I'm going to hit save, and then I'm going to go to the window and hit the A2 drawing, and the A2 drawing is done as well. I'm just going to hit save for good measure. So these drawings are done, and that concludes these Dcad lessons.